And for more on the topic, I'm joined from Florida by Eric Mandel, founder and director at Middle East Political Information Network and senior editor for security at the Jerusalem Report. Thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Now, reports of Hamas loosening its demands for a deal. Could this mean Israel is closer to one than ever?
You know, we've heard this so many times. I hope so. The one thing I'm going to make issue with, and I've actually talked to someone who's one of the previous negotiators and is actually still in contact with Hamas. I think Israel should not agree to any deal that doesn't release 100% of the hostages and all of the bodies of those that the terrorists have killed. These piecemeal deals, I think, are going to haunt the families of the people who are left behind. Now, I believe that Netanyahu and his administration are moving ahead with this because President Trump is pushing him hard. And I think the best way to have some insights into this is to see what his Middle East advisor, Mossad Boulos, who's also his daughter's father-in-law, and he said that, quote, the war is practically over, practically no more significant military action. The only issue is hostages. And actually, he told a French media outlet, Le Point, that actually all the details have been worked out other than the few names that are there. But it leaves open some other big questions here when you're talking about ending this war or just having a ceasefire. The big question is, does Israel have, and it has not articulated, and it should, what its post-war vision should be? And Israel should be talking to President Trump and hopefully convincing him to realize that no matter what happens here, that Hamas and terrorists are going to be popping up for not months, but years, and to give the leeway, the freedom of action for Israel to keep Hamas from terrorizing the people. So there's a lot of work to go in here. Of course, we all want the hostages home, but there is still, I mean, one of the big question really here is military action by Israel continuing endangering the hostages or making a better deal? Bibi says the former.
So at this stage, what are the red lines now, the negotiating red lines on either side, on Israel's side and on Hamas' side?
Well, Hamas is not in a strong position. We don't know exactly if the Hamas terrorist leaders on the outside, how much influence they have over Mohammed Sinwar and whoever's calling the shots that are there. So we're really in a difficult position, but Hamas doesn't have leverage. And I think Israel and the United States have to remember that Hamas shouldn't be given leverage here. Otherwise, you're negotiating against yourself. So what are the red lines that are here? To my mind, it should be all the hostages returned and proof of life. Something that the Red Cross has never done. And Israel should probably accept a ceasefire like 60 days, maybe like it's being done in the North. Granted, these are two totally different theaters of battle. But I don't think Israel can close shop and go out. Or you think about all of the soldiers who have lost their lives that may have been in vain. And finally, everybody's forgetting that Hamas could be resupplied with hundreds, if not over 1,000 terrorists with blood on their hands to rebuild their leadership as part of this deal. And nobody should forget about that. Granted, you want to do everything you can to get the hostages out. But from 6,000 miles away, even though I come to Israel and to the Middle East often, trying to be a little more objective, but the subjective nature of the Israeli people who are traumatized every single day by what's going on. You just want to get the hostages home, but you don't want to set up for the next terrorist attack.